Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Escobedo, AVP at Ultimate, AVP of Civic Engagement and Advocacy. I feel like folks have seen a lot of me, so that's why I just say AVP. But we're here at the Ultimate Election Central, counting down less than an hour to go for polls to close here in California. We're seeing polls close all across the country here in the back screen. But we're really excited to get a sense of who turned out, what happened,
right.
What are we seeing with the results. But because folks still have a couple of minutes to vote, I have with me my very, very good friend and comadre here, Dr. Wilma Franco, who is Executive Director for the Southeast LA Collaborative, also known as the CELA Collab. And they're joining us just to celebrate the final countdown for elections. And so I wanted to, this is an informal chat, just kind of get a sense from you on why you think it's important for everyone in Southeast LA, but everywhere in California to turn out to vote in the next, 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. I think it's really important for folks to come out and vote because of our political representation, right? This is also the way that we're able to bring resources to the community, the way that we also have to hold our elected officials accountable, right? I think we often forget that this is a privilege that a lot of us have. Some of our community doesn't have that, and I think here in CELA, what we've seen is oftentimes a lack of participation, right? So I think that's part of the reason why we're here, and we've been really kind of working in partnership with so many leaders to really get out the vote and make sure that our communities actually getting out and making their voices heard.
Absolutely, and Southeast LA has been one of the, I think, kind of game changer communities, right? Where we've seen just a huge amount of organizations organizing under your leadership and under the leadership of CELA Collaborative to get folks counted, to make sure that folks are voting, because historically in Southeast LA is where we saw a lot of the issues, right? Environmental issues. We saw issues, where city council governments weren't working, and so folks mobilized, they organized, and they ran for office, right? And held folks accountable. And so really, really important for folks in Southeast LA to keep that movement going, right? And continue to do this work. Now, my next question is kind of non-traditional, right? But we were just talking about it a little bit earlier, which is the process of preparing to vote, right?
Yes.
Because it takes a couple of minutes, but I know we all had to do a little bit of research, right? And so I was talking earlier to Bere, right, to our SVP, and she kind of shared her process of filling out the sample ballot. What was your process like to prepare to go vote, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a complicated ballot, right? But we all have the ways that we do it, right? So
yes, and I think there's so many propositions, there's so many different levels, right? Of both at the state level, at the county level, at the local level, right? And I think here in Southeast LA, because we do our work across 10 cities, we also have the local elected, elections that are taking place. So there's that kind of added layer to those spaces. But I think for me, right, even, and I think this is part of our conversation, right? Like even for me, who I have been involved in this work, and we have the advantage of having so many different partners where we're educating ourselves about the propositions and the different, pieces that are in the ballot. There's still pieces that I had to sit down and actually read and do a lot more research about. So part of that for us, right, it prompts what happens to our community members that don't have that ability or that knowledge, right? And then so how do we, and this is where I think a lot of the model that Ultimate has, right, of using the promotoras and having our community members go out and educate other community members is critical to the work that we're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for folks who are still doing their research, and again, there's still time to vote. Folks have until 8 p.m. to go to their local vote center to vote. If folks are in line by 7:59, please stay in line. It is your right to vote, even if you're in line by 7:59 and 59 seconds. No one's allowed to turn you away. If you have any issues at the polls, folks can still call 1-888-VEVOTA, which is an Aleo hotline. But very, very important. We've heard from Wilma today about the importance of voting for Southeast LA, for our broader communities. And so at Ultimate, we've been doing quite a bit of work in turning out voters across LA County, across Orange County. We've really reached out to thousands and thousands of voters to make sure that they turn out to vote, through phone banking, through texting, through doors. I don't know if we have the graphic where we could share a little bit of our numbers. And so thanks to you all, right? And thanks to our canvassers who are still joining us here. They're staying with us until the last hour. We've been able to contact 32,000 voters through phone outreach, 14,000 voters through door-to-door outreach where we had one-on-one conversations with them, 348,000 folks through peer-to-peer texting, and 107,000 folks through direct mail. And so none of this work could have been done without partners like the Select Collaborative, like folks who are watching, like everyone in this room who has worked tirelessly to do this. But again, folks have until 8 p.m. You guys can visit myvotemyhouse.org if you do want to download our Easy Voter Guide and kind of are doing this at the last hour. Please go there, get some more information. And with that, Wilma, I wanted to give the mic to you to see if you have any final words for folks to make sure they get out to vote today.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we've heard through a lot of the promotoras, even today, right, as we're really kind of continuing to do that last push, right, has been a lot of our promotoras actually don't have the opportunity to vote, right? And then, so their message was really, all of us that do have that opportunity, we are their voice, right? For all of those community members that are not able to vote yet. So we need to get out and exercise our right to be at the, submit our ballots and actually be heard about our communities.
So the message is simple. Vote for your health and vote for your community. You have a couple of minutes to still do it. And thank you so much, Wilma, for joining us.
Thank you.